want to take you now to Brewster, Washington, where hospital officials and family members are giving an update on the condition of the plane crash victim survivor, Autumn Veatch.
The 16-year-old walked away from the Saturday crash and wandered in the woods for days before finally getting to a phone and calling 911. Let's listen in to see what family and friends are saying.
Remind everybody that she is 16, and it's above all else, her physical and mental health is what's most important here. There are a lot of stories out there that have been accurate and inaccurate and very inaccurate, but they're just going to be what they are for right now. And Autumn will clear up anything if she decides that's what's right. What is not going to be discussed are any details about her step-grandparents or anything really to do with that side of the family. They're going through a tremendous loss right now, and that needs to really be respected. Yeah. The details Autumn is willing to share at this point or to confirm, is that when she was in the plane, they did hit a lot of bad weather. There was a crash, and she was able to make it down the mountain. She was able to be picked up by two wonderful gentlemen who helped her get to the convenience store, get help, came here. She had received great care by the staff here, as well as by Dr. Wallace, and they've done a tremendous job. And at this point, she's feeling well, and she's doing well, and she will leave tonight to go home at some point, and we don't know when that will be.
We also would like to say, that there is a GoFundMe page in the works right now, and we'd really like for people to get that out and help just replace what was lost. She lost everything. She left the plane with everything on her back, so we'd appreciate that. And we really, really appreciate the support everybody's given and the respect that all of you guys have given. It's been amazing, and it's been tiring and exhausting, and we really appreciate all of you guys out there. Yeah. Oh, are you ready?
Where was she going from? Where was she going to? What was the purpose?
Well, we know that she was visiting her mom in Montana, and she was on her way back, and back to Bellingham. Well, she was flying into Linden, but back to Bellingham, and she lost her clothes, her luggage, her laptop, cell phone.
All her electronics. She's an artist, and she lost pretty much all of her art supplies too.
Her makeup, you know, important things to a 16-year-old girl. So
yeah,
we want to get those things at least replaced for her to go back to normal. So,
and to have an outlet really, some form of therapy for her in a way that she would use it. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't catch. Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, we thought you were told. Chelsea Clark and Sarah Esperance.
Yes.
We are family friends.
Sarah what?
Esperance.
Esperance.
Yes.
E-S?
E-S-P-E-R-A-N-C-E.
It's no good. Oh, Esperance. Okay.
Yes, Esperance.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
So,
guys, could either one of you just talk as friends? You know, she survived. Not only did she survive this, she's gonna be out of the hospital after one night. You know.
Yeah.
Can you guys just take a step back and just talk about? I mean, I don't know what miracle. I don't know what words you want to use, but as her friends, can you just describe what this has been like to see her?
It's been amazing. It is a miracle what happened, and we never gave up hope, and we just felt like she was still with us, and she's, you know, it's traumatizing what she went through. She's 16, and anybody at that age, and it's absolutely amazing to see her in good spirits, and she's going to be processing, and it's going to take it hour by hour, day by day, and we just want to be there for her, support her, and make her comfortable as possible, and get her help for the trauma that she's been through.
Did she talk at all about what she thought about as she was traipsing through the wilderness for 2 days?
You know,
get out to keep her going.
We're going to let her tell that story. We're not going to speak about anything like that.
yeah, because those are her thoughts and her experiences. That's for her to share if she decides she wants to.
How long did she walk until she was picked up?
That's something else that's a part of her story and her experience in this, so she'll share that if she decides to.
What is waiting for her in Bellingham?
Family, the rest of the family, friends, family friends, her schoolmates, everybody. The community, it's a very small community we're from, and it's an amazing community. We're all very tight-knit and close, and she has Bellingham and the nation, I've heard, in the world now, so yeah, she's going home to the community.
How long have you guys known
I've known her since she was about 5, so about 11 years.
I've known her for about 4 years, since Sarah and I started dating. So.
Can you elaborate a little bit more about turbulence you said the aircraft felt?
Because that's a part of her experience with this whole thing. If she decides to share that, we'll let her share that. So we can't speak to that at this time.
Does she know about all of this, and how do you prepare her for all of this?
Well, the first night we were here, we took a picture. She took a picture on her cell phone of her with her back, or she was looking at the TV of her, and she's just in awe. I think it's just like when we all found out what happened to her until we actually came here, I feel. It wasn't real. So I think it's not going to be real for her until she steps out and sees. I mean, she's seen the morning shows. She's seen a little bit of this and that, Facebook. But we're taking care of her emotions right now and not putting too much on her.
Tonight, will she travel from here back to Bellington? There's no loop through a television studio in New York or anything?
No, we're going straight home. We are taking care of her.
Yeah.
Not doing any interviews. This is what we're doing to get it out so you guys can get what you need, and the nation and all the people that care about her from way back when to recently. We want to get it out there and let everyone know where she's at.
Has she been emotional at all? Because you hear her on the 911 tape and other people say she's very emotional. Have there been any breakdowns, or how would you characterize her experience?
At this point, because that's something that's very personal to her, we'll just leave it that it's very personal, her experiences and her emotions and feelings, so we're just going to let her have that to herself at this point.
You've known her for a long time. What was it in her character that let her do this? There she is, crashed plane, dead grandparents.
A strong will. If nothing else, this girl has a strong, strong will. And, you know, her coming out and being able to leave the hospital this quickly just goes to show that. So, yeah. And are there any other questions? Because otherwise we're going to hand it over to Dr. Wallace, who will give a quick medical update.
Last name, Clark, C-L-A-R-K.
Yes. Nope, just C-L-A-R-K.
Chelsea, I know you have a different spelling first name. Could you spell that?
Yeah, C-H-E-L-S-E-Y. And then Clark, C-L-A-R-K.
Tell me about when you heard.
Chelsea actually received a call from one of the long-term family friends before anything else, because it was on Twitter before everything had been confirmed, basically.
David had just went down for a nap.
Yeah.
We said, you need to get some rest, buddy, and we'll stay here and deal with the press calls and the animals and this and that. And probably 2.5 hours into his nap, at around 2:40 or so, yeah, we got a call from a friend, Carl Lampman, and they're there at the apartment and taking care of everything. And it was, we were like, what? Yeah, Twitter? I don't have a Twitter. I don't really know too much about Twitter, but it was amazing.
That's how we found out.
It was amazing to find that out.
And then after that came the calls from the sheriff and everyone else confirming and discussing, and yeah, and David was astonished. It didn't seem, at least from his reaction, it didn't seem like it was even real in the moment for him. He really had to repeat what he was saying and process it.
David is her father.
Yes, David is her father.
Correct.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Esperance, it's E-S-P-E-R-A-N-C-E.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, so we'll hand it over to Dr. Wallace, who has been overseeing her care and taking great, great care of her.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good evening. Welcome to Three Rivers Hospital, you guys. I'm James Wallace, one of the doctors here on staff. I was on call last night and responded to a call in the emergency room, much like I respond to most calls in the emergency room on my nights. And the one thing that struck me as different was that there were a lot of news crews and satellite trucks, and it was a very different scene at Three Rivers Hospital than we're used to. So I want to start by thanking you guys for making our parking lot your home for the last 24 hours. We actually have a large number of patients that come to our hospital that have had long journeys, that have had really intense traumatic experiences that go without food, water, basic necessities for life, and I appreciate you guys taking interest in one of those cases. I'd be happy to speak to some details, but out of privacy for Autumn, I don't want to go into all the details and speak more generally on the services our hospital's been able to provide and the services we provide to all patients. As I think you all know, the past 36 hours, 48 hours for Autumn were quite an ordeal. I think, as her friends stated, her will to persevere and continue on led her to the roadside and led her to the first responders and EMS crew who brought her here to us, and the fantastic work of the men and women who serve the community at this hospital are a big reason that things have gone so well. Autumn's doing very well. She was severely dehydrated, had some minor burns, abrasions, several lacerations that were all taken care of and are healing well. She's on the path to being rehydrated, but that's something that'll take some more time. But again, she's recovering tremendously well, is in good spirits, as all you guys can probably imagine. She's extremely exhausted and will remain pretty spent for the next couple of days. I'd love to entertain questions on how anyone who wants to be helpful in the therapeutic process for Autumn could participate. I will say that one of the first things that everyone could do is to give her some privacy and time to recuperate on her own, and let things progress at her own pace.
Is it fair to say you've given her a clean bill of health to go home?
She has a complete bill of health, and we're waiting on a few more things to come together for her to be able to go home.
She'll be released tonight?
We expect that she will be able to be released tonight.
Doc, nobody likes to hang out at the hospital for too long. Do you think it's good for her to go home at this point?
I do. I think she's to a point in her recovery where she'd be more comfortable at home than at the hospital. But again, she still has lots of time necessary to recover.
Doctor, how impressed are you with all the trauma that she's faced and all that she is it resilience?
Yeah.
Determination to survive?
Yeah.
How do you categorize?
Yeah, no, it's all of the above. It's her youthfulness, her baseline state of health was terrific, and her innate knowledge, wisdom to pick the right path out, and really to do everything right in an environment that was very foreign to her. She did it all right, and all the pieces came together to support her in getting here and getting well.
Doctor, did she have water or anything to eat, anything to drink during the 48 hours?
She had plenty available to her. I think she made some wise decisions about what to eat and what not to eat, and that may have also contributed to her health as well, making good choices out there.
Did she have any sustenance out there?
She had a little bit of water from natural sources, but nothing on her person, nothing from any other source that she had with her.
Doctor, there seems to me there would be two categories of injuries. One is being involved in a plane crash and the trauma associated with that. And then part two is what happened when you're wandering around the woods trying to survive for a couple of days.
Sure.
As to part one, I mean, do her injuries make sense for somebody who's in a plane crash? I mean, to you, I don't think it makes sense to a lot of people, I guess is what I'm asking.
Sure. You would expect, and I think unfortunately we do often see greater injury after a plane crash. Her story was remarkable, and we rejoice in that and express thanks for that, and are happy to see her where she is. I think she does have injuries, and she will require a period of convalescence and recovery. But she's headed in the right direction.
Not as a patient, just as a young woman. What do you think of this young woman?
She's amazing. She's remarkable. She really had the courage and will to continue on when, you know, she was in a very scary situation, and she's exhibited an amazing amount of strength.
Have you ever seen somebody so young look at something like this in your career as a physician, sir?
Well, that's a good question. Every case is unique. I've seen a lot of things happen to youngsters, and this one stands out as one of, this is a unique one.
And the sort of question as to whether or not will she get out today and what sort of test you wanted to do. Is hydration your big thing right now?
That was the major thing, yeah. Hydration to replenish her her supply, as well as to avoid other injuries through that were a result of the dehydration.
I mean, don't get too medical on me, but can you explain what it is about a lack of hydration that would worry you as a doctor over time?
Yeah, just going without hydration, food, the body uses the resources that it has, so it burns through the nutrient supply it has, and so it can burn through glucose stores, fat stores, and can end up breaking down other body tissues. And that process, while it could sustain life for a short amount of time, over time can be harmful and deadly. And so the act of rehydration helps the body to clear dangerous byproducts of that process.
How close to danger was she when she made it to the road? Did she get to the road just in time?
She got to the road exactly when she needed to get to the road. She needed medical care, for sure. It's hard to say how much longer someone could have been out there, but she arrived at the road at the right time to make the recovery that she has.
Is there anything, besides the obvious fact that she survived the plane crash, which not many people can say, is there anything about her ordeal that makes you go, man, that was just a huge break for her? A huge, rather besides her will, her strong will, and her physical abilities and her state of health, anything that makes you go, that was a break?
Yeah, I mean, every step of the way. I think it was a break that she chose the right stream to follow downstream. I think it was a right move for her to find and wait at a trailhead and roadside. It was a break for her that two awesome individuals picked her up and took her to a fantastic general store where there are first responders on staff in Mazama, and they were able to call Met, which is a phenomenal emergency medical service in the Met, and I'd say it's a break that's where she wound up, and a break that everything came together from a human resources perspective to a health systems perspective through that chain of events that led her here.
Most of us will do around here.
I've been in contact with medical providers in Bellingham, and they have a wonderful system set up for her to continue to monitor that. Well, again, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all of your concern for Autumn, and hope you'll continue that as her course improves. Thanks.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, we've been listening in at a news conference in Brewster, Washington, in regards to Autumn Veatch, the 16-year-old who survived a plane crash and walked around the woods for 2 days before finally getting help. Her friends describing her by having a strong will to survive. The doctor saying she was severely dehydrated. She also had burns, but she is recovering tremendously well and is in good spirits.
And will be going home. Good for her. We're lucky. She's lucky, very, very lucky to be alive, because both of her grandparents did not survive that plane crash.